So my day started with me posting happy 3 months to my daughter and ended with me posting rest in peace to my mom.
Yeah.
I blame her because my mom had convinced people that there's nothing I can't do. I just want people to hold on, bro.
Shout if you need help. There's no way no one will listen. What if my parents didn't separate?
What if I never took a risk by moving to Joburg?
Hey, and welcome to the Come Up Uncut. I'm your host, Kabelo, for the day. I'm here with the man behind the podcast, Tabo. So yeah, season 2, it'll be interesting to hear from Tabo what he has planned for season 2. I know like season 1, he had a few guests and, but we'll have time to pick his brain, see what he has in store for us. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the podcast. So yeah, let's get right into it. Welcome, Tab. Tab, how are you, man?
I'm great, man. Thanks for having me on my podcast.
No, I'll be honest. This was an interesting one when you gave me the call to say, "Hey, dude, I need you to step in for me." There, I think the whole week I've been practicing, thinking, "Okay, cool. This is how I'm going to do my intro. This is how I'm going to." So it's been a nervous one.
You killed it. You killed it.
Yeah.
It had to be you, man. We come from way back. I was
Yeah.
actually speaking to my wife and said I need someone, and your name came up.
Yeah.
So it had to be you. So
Yeah.
Thank you for taking the call.
No, man, I do appreciate you thinking of me.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like you said, we are boys. I mean, we've been friends. I don't know for how long.
I think it's over 10 years now, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's over 10 years now.
Yeah, it's over 10 years now, yeah. But yeah, man, how are you, man? How you been?
I'm good. It's been an interesting 2 years off camera. I think the last time I shot, I wasn't married. I wasn't a dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, a dad to a 2-year-old. She's turning 2 actually in 2 weeks. So
Okay.
interesting stuff, man.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff. But I'm good.
You good?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, no, like you said now, you've been off camera for about 2 years, and I know I've been missing the podcast, just to hear your views on. I know I was watching the Gentleman Corner now this morning.
Yeah,
Didn't finish it though, but
Yeah.
I was listening to it there, and then you guys made some interesting points. So just give the viewers a background as to what was happening in the 2 years. Why did you ghost us? I mean, you left us on red, literally. So what's been happening, man?
I think the biggest thing that happened in the past 2 years is, as you know, I lost my mom, which she was like the fuel of the podcast, man. Before I shot, I would give her a call after the podcast, So I think losing her really just messed my mind up a bit. And I tried to come back. Remember I told you that I tried to come back, but felt like I wasn't ready to be in front of the cameras, to do this again, knowing that she's not there to get feedback or give feedback,
Yeah.
So that's what's been happening basically. But before I dig into that, just wanna welcome back the viewers, man. Shout out to you again, KB, for pulling through.
Yeah.
Sihle, Tabo, the guys from the Gentleman's Corner, and all the guests that I had in season 1, man. My wife as well for being a great support. My daughter and my mom in heaven. So just it feels great to be back.
Yeah.
It feels great to be back. Just had to get that intro out there to say I'm back and thank you for the patience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the time you lost your mom. I know it was very hectic because having spent time with your mom as well. I mean, your mom was a very, very, very supportive.
Yeah.
I think she's one of the few honest, genuine people that you could ever meet. And just run us back to what happened on the day.
On the day that I lost her.
Yeah.
I don't know when I called you, hey? I don't know when I think I called you on the day a bit later. So I'm in Pretoria. I'm working in Man Lane. She's in hospital. So my mom passed away the same day my daughter turned 3 months.
Yeah.
So my day started with me posting happy 3 months to my daughter and ended with me posting rest in peace to my mom.
Yeah.
I'm in Man Lane. She's in hospital. So I go to work. I'm aware that she's in hospital and going through my day, just normal day. But I keep on getting calls from Bloom. okay, she's not getting better. You know, Tabang, my brother, keeps on calling me. She's not getting better, bro. What do we do? Around 3, I called Tabang back. I'm like, how is she doing? She's like, bro, she's not looking good. I'm like, tell you what, I'm gonna drop everything. I'm coming to Bloem immediately.
Yeah.
Right. And then he's like, cool. But then 15 minutes later, I call him back. I'm like, nah, man. I think we need to release her. You know, I think we need to release her. What do you think about that? You know, Tabang is like, yeah, bro. She's not looking good. Let's release her. And I think in that moment we released her in our heart with my brother. But obviously still praying. I'm getting a lot of calls from different directions. Tabo, praying for your mom, type of this, type of this. I think the one person that I called at the time was Sihle. It's like, dude, please pray for my mom. This thing is happening. And then around 4, I get another call from a nurse, right?
Yeah.
Who was my mom's friend. She says, Tabo, you need to come to Bloem immediately, right? It's not looking good. I'm like, okay, cool, I'm on my way. I'm on my way to the Gau train station. And I get a call from I'm speaking to my wife at the time. She's like, where are you? What's happening? Blah, 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 blah. And then I hear a pause, right? And I'm like, what's wrong? She's like, no, someone is going to call you right now, right? I'm like, no, what's happening? And then she hangs up immediately. And then as she hangs up, her dad calls me. And he's like, as you know, your mom is sick. Like, I'm on the way to the Gau train. This is actually crazy. I'm on the way to the Gau train. I get this call. He tells me, and then he's like, you need to be strong, but your mom has passed away, right? And then I think he said, you need to tell your brothers. They need to hear it from you. Now, Tabang at the time is 18. Tato is 15.
Yeah.
They call me. They're like, no, bro, we're getting ready. We're bathing. We're going to go see mom, right? And then I'm like, okay, cool. I hang up. I'm disorientated. Like,
Yeah.
I'm waiting for a call where someone says, we just made a mistake, or, you know. I've been at the Gau train station in Pretoria a million times, Jab. I remember when I got there were 2 ladies, Jehovah's Witnesses ladies.
Yeah.
They were like, do you want to speak about God? It's like, no, I don't. But where is the entrance to this place? Like, I've been there a million times. Like, where's the entrance to this place? And then they're like, okay, there. I'm like, okay. I walk the other direction, Chap. I go, like, I see myself, Kimodi Bissing. I'm like, where's the entrance to the Gau train station?
Yeah.
You know? And then, like people can see that I'm pacing around.
Yeah.
You know? And then eventually I get to the Gau train. My wife calls, like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, no, I'm good. She's like, it's worrying that you sound so okay.
Yeah.
You know? I'm like, no, I'm good. I call my brothers. I'm like, yo, bro, mom is no more. Mom is no more. And I remember, I think Tato cried. I said, just do what you have to do. You don't have to be strong for anyone.
Yeah.
I'll be there in a few hours.
Yeah.
Just do what you have to do. Called Sihle, I called you. I called my dad. I think I made like 4 calls max.
Yeah.
And then I switched off my phone for a while. So, yeah, man. It hit me as I was packing.
Yeah.
Right? As I was packing, something in my mind, I think in that time, I hadn't realized what's happening.
Yeah.
As I'm packing, and I'm like, nah, man. Something feels odd.
Yeah.
Something feels odd. I switch my phone on, and I see people posting. Like, you know how weird it is?
Shucks, yeah, ne?
Like,
Yeah.
I open my statuses. It's like, oh, please don't tell me it's true. I'm scrolling. It's my mom's picture. It's my mom's picture. People are calling me. I'm the firstborn, bro.
Yeah.
I can't run away from this thing.
Yeah.
You know, answering. The craziest thing, people are expecting me to comfort them, right? My mom's friends are calling me crying.
Oh, Thabo hle.
Yeah,
Thabo.
Hasn't Nate I'm in Joburg. I don't know, bro. Like, Thabo can Nate. I don't know. Like, yes, I don't know, right? And you spoke to my wife again, and the first time tears literally crawled down my eyes. Ne? My mom passed away at 5, chap. I think it was around 12. So I didn't cry for that moment, right? And what made me cry is I posted her, and then Dumurake, the actress,
Yes, yes, yes.
she sees my status and she's like, "Can I call you?" I'm like, "Yeah, you can call." She calls, and then she says, "Oh, Thabo Batum."
Sorry, man. I'm just picturing her saying that in her
Yeah,
voice.
she
Like
goes,
it's
"Oh, Thabo Batum." All right, man. And now the world is quiet.
Yeah.
Right? The world is quiet now. The lights are off. It's 12 a.m. It's me and my thoughts. And I think I cried for like 10 seconds without my tears. But when I'm super stressed, I nosebleed.
Yeah.
So my body was telling me that you're not okay. I was nosebleeding a lot, dude. And as soon as I get to Bloom, literally as I arrive in Bloom, everyone is like, Thabo this, Thabo this, Thabo this. Even till today, I haven't been able to process my mom's death because of the position that I hold in my family.
Yeah.
Right? Literally from the day I arrived, where are we burying your mom? When are we burying your mom?
Yeah.
You need to go view the body. You need to choose this. You need to do this. You need to do that. We don't have this. We don't have that.
I think on that point, I know when I lost my grandmother as well, I think you become so concerned about what people want of you in that space. You don't even have I mean, you're still disorientated, you know what I mean?
You can't think.
You can't think.
Yeah.
But people are there like, hey, dude, when is this? When is that?
Yeah.
Okay, how am I gonna get there? There's just so much going on at the same time,
Yeah. And as you're saying, in that moment, that's when I appreciated muscle memory of the background that we had.
Yeah.
Right? Because now you're operating on knowledge of this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yes.
You don't feel like doing it, but your body just knows that this is how I handle pain as a man or as a guy or So we're speaking about the background that we had outside. It was just like we had such a strong foundation, a strong background, me and you and the rest of the guys, that when hardship comes, it doesn't shake us.
Yeah.
Because I remember when your grandmother passed, you called me as well.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
You're like, "Chap, I'm not okay." We spoke. And then the next day you were like rocking as normal. Because I think I called you like for like that whole week and you're okay.
Yeah.
So, and I took strength from those things, man. I was like, okay, we went through this. This person went through this. It passes, right? Yeah, so it was tough, but it's part of life, I guess.
I'm actually glad that it didn't, not to say it didn't break you, but I'm glad that you still found strength in the midst of all of that, I mean, I can speak for the guys that aren't here, like Sihle, Thabo, Romeo, all those guys that were around you at the time, that were pillars of strength. And, I'm glad that as much as now that was a significant point in your life, you know what I mean? But since then, how has things been for you though?
Pretty good, man. I think losing my mom really changed the way that I view life.
Yeah.
Morality is a thing now for me, I
Sorry, my bad.
Why?
My bad.
Why are you laughing?
Carry on, my bad.
No, morality is a thing in a sense of I'm aware that at any given moment, this could be our last time together.
Yeah.
And with everything that I do now, I give it my all, and I really try to be in the moment, and just the way that I process things, I feel like it's different now.
Yeah.
It's different. I don't let situations affect me as probably as I would have back then, because like it's life, man.
Yeah.
It's life. It's really not that deep.
So now we're going into season 2 of the Come Up, right?
Yeah.
And obviously now you don't have that support structure like you had, or rather that pillar of strength that was your mom.
Yeah.
So how are you gonna handle all of that now? Because I know your mom was very key.
Yeah.
In because I remember even at your wedding, she did say that, hey, look, whenever the episode of the Come Up came up, she was one of the first people to distribute it to everyone.
To everyone. Literally everyone. Everyone, Before my mom's passing, we spoke a lot, and her main thing was just like, you know that I have the accounting company
Yeah.
and the come up, she always said, don't leave these two things, you know.
Yeah.
So I think the difference now is I'm doing it with that thing that it's in her honor. It's something that
Yeah.
she loved doing. It's something, I mean, she loved being part of, you know.
Yeah.
It's something that kind of gave her hope in her kids, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, you knew me from like back then, chap. Like this is foreign to me.
Yeah.
Like this is not me.
Yeah.
You know. So I think when she saw what I could become, it just said that she got to see half of the story.
Yeah.
She didn't get to see where the story ends, you know.
Yeah.
But I think it's important that I finish the story in her honor
Yeah.
and just continue with the podcast. So it's gonna be tough. But it has to be done. And now I have a newfound support structure in my life. My wife, my daughter, you guys we speak a lot now.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So I don't take you guys for granted as well.
Yeah.
I don't wanna say I don't have anyone because that would be a lie
Yeah.
as well. You know, I have a great support structure now backing me, you know. So yeah, man.
Now we got you. Like Ngokoto.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like it's very I'm very interested to see like what you got planned for season 2, you know. I think also the viewers as well would like to know like, you know, what's going to be happening season 2 though? What can we expect?
A lot. First of all, I think as our viewers can see, we found a new home, an amazing studio.
Yeah.
It's great. I think it's our first shoot inside a studio. A lot of interesting conversations, man. A lot of controversial topics. You know me. A lot of controversial topics. What's life without a bit of trouble?
Yeah, like, keep me out of it.
You know, we're gonna laugh, we're gonna cry, we're gonna have a good time, but the most important thing is we're gonna grow together. You know, more celebrity interviews are coming up, more thought-provoking topics, conversations are gonna be coming up, more fun topics are gonna be, you know.
So just to give an overview, you know, obviously now people like me, they're like old viewers, like we are the OGs of the come up. You know? So now for the new people coming up and watching your podcast, what can you tell? But just go a little bit detail as what was the inspiration behind the come up?
That's a great question.
Of course.
Look, the inspiration behind the come up is it's in the name, right?
Yeah.
The come up. When I came up with this concept, I was in a very dark place, very, very dark place mentally. Depression was on 100, and I needed something to pull me out, right?
Yeah.
And then I thought of, how about I speak to day-to-day people that are making a difference in society? That was like the inspiration behind it. So whether you're a petrol attendant who's running a after-school homework something, you know. Unfortunately, it never got there because, as you know, dreams evolve and plans just, you know. But the inspiration was, I want to speak to day-to-day people and give them a platform because I feel like the world has so many good people that are not given their flowers.
Yeah.
You know? And to the new viewers, I think they're going to see more of that now. They're going to see more of your KBs that you've never seen on TV.
Yeah.
Like Sihles, you know, they're going to see more people that are doing great things in their personal life. And they're going to get to learn a lot. They're going to get to see industry grades, you know. I think season 1, I had like Joe Simeon on episode 1, the financial guru. They're going to see more of that, you know. I'm trying to bring like psychologists. I'm trying to bring like teachers, like different industries where people can factually learn and have fun.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, so that's the one thing that they can expect from us.
It's a very interesting angle because if you look at, I don't want to say mainstream podcasts, but let's, for the lack of a better word, we can say mainstream podcasts. It's very few people that actually do a podcast for the sake of, not for the sake, rather for the day-to-day man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because most podcasts that I've seen recently is like now baddies, club scenes.
For sure.
You know, so it's going to be interesting to see what you have in store for us, man.
And I feel like that sells because it's the reality of society currently.
Yeah.
You know, it's the baddies, it's the club culture, it's the blessers, the blesses. It's what we see every day. So I think it makes sense that people speak about it, and shouts out to the podcasts that are doing it, spreading awareness on the rape culture.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to shy away from that because I feel like it's been overdone in the world.
Very true.
When you scroll on TikTok, it's if your man doesn't do this, he must do this. And then you scroll again, if your wife is this, then she must. I'm just trying to. I feel like everyone is doing it. We get it. Men are trash. Women are trash. We get it.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to focus on something different for maybe people that are not really interested in that. Because you get professionals as well that want to go up on YouTube that don't really care about baddies.
Yeah.
And I think where we are in our lives currently, I don't have the luxury to sit here and talk about baddies.
Yeah, true.
I don't have the luxury. So I'm just shying away from that. If it pops up, I'll engage proper, but it's really not my target audience and target market type of,
Oh, man, that's good. That's good. So now you got the past 2 years when you ghosted us, you went and got married. How's marriage life, boy?
Great. It's great. You've met my wife.
Once.
You met her once.
Day before your wedding. Rehearsal. That was the first time meeting your wife.
Yeah, no, I keep my personal life very private.
Even to your boys.
I keep my personal life very private. But, you've spoken to her a few times. Amazing woman, man.
Trust me, she is.
No, she's amazing. She's the one person who's been able to keep me in line. She's amazing, man. And an amazing mother as well. So marriage life has ups and downs, but I wouldn't choose any other life.
Yeah,
I wouldn't choose any other life. I think the growth that I've experienced in the past 2 years, I hadn't experienced it in like 5 years.
Yeah,
just my mentality is on a different level now. Because now I get to think about Kanye, I get to think about my wife, I get to think about the future. I don't get into fights at clubs, for an example, anymore.
Yeah.
Because you get stabbed and now you're leaving a child behind,
Yeah.
And yeah, man, it's been amazing, honestly. The most important thing for me is growth. It has given me amazing growth.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's just unfortunate to maybe the single viewers that were looking for you there. You're off the market.
It's been 2 years, man. Happily married.
Yeah.
Happily married.
And then and your daughter, man?
Chelsea.
Can we talk about that?
Why did I name her Chelsea?
Why did you name her Chelsea?
When I started dating my wife, I told her.
Yeah.
It was a non-negotiable. It was a non-negotiable. If we have a child, her name is Chelsea.
Yeah.
Right? And she was on board until she fell pregnant.
Yeah.
And then she tried to back out.
Yeah.
She's like, no, here's amazing Bible names. Here's names with meaning. Here's names with this,
Yeah.
So I said, tell you what. If it's a boy, you can name her. I won't intervene.
Yeah.
If it's a girl, I'll name her. Right?
Yeah.
She says, bet.
Yeah.
Cool. We found out that it's a girl. Yeah. She says, dude, no. No.
Yeah.
Not Chelsea. I'm like, it has to be Chelsea.
Yeah.
She's like, why? I'm like, did you watch the 2012? Did you watch the Champions League final in 2012? Like, what do you mean, why? And it honestly, people think it was easy. It really wasn't. She had her reservations. I didn't impose it on her.
Yeah.
And then luckily we found middle ground. Right?
Yeah.
I was like, tell you what, it's your first child as well. You can give her the first name.
Yeah.
Right. And she said, Lesedi, and then we translated into Zulu, which is Kanye.
Yeah.
And then her second name is Resego.
Yeah.
She was named by her granddad, like my wife's dad,
Yeah.
Just wanted to give them that honor as well. So say, I'm not going to be selfish. You can have the first two names, but Chelsea has to be there. Chelsea has to be on the birth certificate of my child.
So that's the first name.
No, Chelsea's the third name.
Chelsea's the third name.
Yeah, Kanye's the first name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I won't lie, bro. Like when you told me, I remember the time you told me, I said, no, your daughter's name is Chelsea. And
Yeah.
the first thing I asked is, why?
I remember.
Like, why?
But did it surprise you? Did it shock you?
It did shock me.
Knowing me.
No, it did shock me. It did shock me because knowing you,
Yeah.
as much as you are an easygoing guy, you enjoy fun, you enjoy making controversial comments and controversial, you're very controversial. And I can tell you this as my friend, But I thought at least, when you name your child, it will be
I'll be objective.
at least you'll come back to earth and
There's no saving me. There's no saving me. I think the other day my friend asked me, my high school friend is like, what are you gonna name your second born if it's a boy?
Arsenal.
And I was like, maybe Enzo.
Arsenal.
What am I gonna name? Because now my firstborn can't have a Chelsea reference and my secondborn doesn't. It has to continue.
But Enzo,
Mourinho, it has to continue, So I don't know. I don't know.
but bro, I love you to bits, But I
don't think my wife will approve of that. I think this was a once-off thing. I don't think.
I hope for your sake it was a once-off thing.
Yeah, I mean Chelsea's good.
Your daughter's good, but not your team.
They've been horrible. They've been horrible, champ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, no, bro. I think I'm very excited about season 2, and then, I don't know if it may be too early for you to mention, maybe, but what can we expect with regards to celebrities now again? Because I know last you had your Tumis, you had your
Hide and Seek.
I don't know if you had, I think Stone was also there as well.
Stone was
Did
there.
feature as well, yeah.
Stone featured. Yeah, man. I think the one person that I'm in constant communication with is Stumi.
Yeah.
Ever since that first episode that we shot together,
Yeah.
we've built an amazing working relationship where she speaks to me a lot, right?
Yeah.
She checks in, I check in. So I think that's the one name that I'm willing to give up.
Yeah.
Say at some point in season 2, she's gonna be here.
Just on Tumi though. How did you secure Tumi though, man? Because I know I remember it was during COVID, I think.
Yeah, after COVID.
Just after COVID when you guys shot there.
Yeah.
I was very impressed. I was like, my boy.
Yeah. So, Tumi posted something on Twitter, right? Something funny. No, she was promoting a movie on Twitter.
Yeah.
This was around 2 a.m. South African time. She posted something on Twitter promoting a movie.
Yeah.
Sorry. And then I commented. And I said, this is amazing. And then she commented, thank you, Tao. Right? And then I said, I have a podcast. It's very small. Can I please have you on it?
Yeah.
And she said, DM me.
Yeah.
Right. And then she followed me, followed her back. And then we spoke in the DMs. And that was it. Off camera on the podcast, I asked her, why did she say yes? How did they get to that point?
Yeah.
Because it was so easy. And she said just how easy the interaction between me and her was. It wasn't forceful. It was very respectful. Because where we come from, and like Motomoholo, it's mamang. You don't just speak, nje, So that's how I approached her. And it was amazing, man. It was amazing. The episode is an hour, but we spent 3 hours with her. Right, we spent 3 hours with her, where we were just talking. It really was amazing. It's just bad because it was on Zoom. I wish it was in person.
Yeah,
because the audio was not up to standard, and man. So that's how it happened. Yeah. That's how I secured her.
Yeah, I'm actually, to be honest, I'll put it now on record. Like, I hope you invite me for the 2 minute episode.
You wanna be here?
No, look, I've seen her. Even when she was on TV, like there's just something about her personality. She has such a warm personality. Even when you're looking at her or watching her.
Yeah.
And I saw her recently on McGee's podcast as well.
Yeah.
She
She has a warm aura.
She has, yeah,
She has a
sure.
very, very warm aura.
Yeah.
She's very loving, man. She's very loving.
Oh, man.
You know, you can pull through.
Now that you think I am going to put through.
You can pull through. You know, you can be here.
Yeah. But yeah, bro. And then now with regards to now your obviously now with your mom gone, you now obviously have to now take up a higher role in the family. You know, you have to like, I know obviously with your dad not being around, you obviously had to step up then. I think it's a whole other level now. You know, because now it's not just your intermediate family. I mean, it's not just your wife and daughter now. It's everyone now. Literally, you know. So how's that been though?
Crazy. Actually going to Bloom next week to sort out some family issues. I'm dragged in family issues that no one my age should be involved in.
Yeah.
I'm dragged in family stuff that I would rather not be part of.
Yeah.
But it just comes with the position that you now hold in the family.
Yeah.
And my mom was she was a glue. Right? And when she left, everyone just looked up to me, you know? And I blame her because my mom had convinced people that there's nothing I can't do. Right?
No, but okay, sorry.
It's the weirdest thing ever. I remember my mom had convinced people that I can interpret dreams, bro. Legit. Like my mom had convinced people that I can interpret dreams. And people would actually pay me to interpret their dreams, man.
How many did you scam?
Like 4 or 5, bro. Proper. I had a regular customer.
What's been the wildest dream that you had to interpret?
Bro, this guy told me that I don't know where my mom found this guy, very old man, right? Yeah. He calls me. So here's how it started. I was studying psychology, and then we did like a dream module, right? And I told my mom, I was like, oh, I'm doing this dream module. It actually talks about symbolism in dreams.
Yeah.
Right. It's actually an interesting. And then I gave an example. I'm reading an example from that book.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this is what I dreamed. I'm like, for an example, if you dream this and this and this is what it means. In her mind, I just solved her dreams, right? And then she starts telling people, no, call Tabo, he can interpret your dreams. So she tells me, she's like, there's this guy who's gonna call you. He needs you to interpret his dreams. I was like, okay. This guy calls me, he's like, how much do you charge? I'm like, 500? And then he sends it, right? And then he sends it and he goes, so last night I dreamed I was walking, but as I was walking, I turned into a horse, right? And then I start flying. But then as I'm flying, I see a lot of my dead relatives in the sky. I'm trying to remember this dream word for word, man.
Yeah.
I see some of my dead relatives in the sky. And when I spoke to them, I crashed and I turned into human again, right? And then I think my explanation to that was, I was trying not to spiritualize things, right? So I said something like, you need to be very, very careful about. So young. I can't believe I said this. I can't believe I said this. It's like, you need to be very careful about the TV programs you watch. Because the flying signifies is that you need to go somewhere in your life.
Yeah.
But there's something holding you back. The horse is you trying to run. But as you're running, you need to be able to jump, right? So like something like that, bro. But I'm saying it in English because this guy is like an old man. And I can hear he's like, like he's buying it, chap. He's buying it. And 3 days later, he called me with another dream. Yeah. Right? I think he called me like 3 or 4 dreams. And he paid. And I had no idea what I was speaking about. Yeah. I had zero idea. But that's how my accounting company came up as well. I didn't know what I was doing. I was broke, and I told my mom that I can actually do business profiles for people.
Yeah.
Right.
With how I've known you, bruv.
Yeah.
Of how I've known you, like with anything you do that's controversial, half of the time just like, yeah, I expected it.
I can't remember what I did the other time, and you're like, I'm not even shocked. You were like, I'm not even shocked that you did this. There's so many things that I'm not proud of that I did, but I'm just like, I don't know why I'm like this.
Yeah.
I have no idea why I'm like this, bro.
But you know what? Now I'm glad that your wife humbled you
Yeah.
quite a lot, not just a bit, like quite a lot.
You know, people who meet me now think this is how I've always been.
Yeah.
Like people who meet me for the first time think this is like me, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying my wife changed me, but I'm saying there's a lot of growth
Yeah.
that came with being married where you can't act a particular way anymore. You can't say certain things anymore, you know? So she really did an amazing job, man. I was out of line.
Out of line. Yeah, that's an understatement, bro. That was an understatement, bro. But yeah, man, and you know, to her credit, you know, I could tell what kind of a person she was. Remember when we did the rehearsals
Yeah.
for your wedding,
Yeah.
and then, you know, I was looking at the program, and she was like, "Okay, step
Yeah.
starts or song." I remember she had this. I can't remember the name of the song.
A
though.
specific song that
Yeah,
she
it was-
wanted.
yeah, there was a specific song she wanted,
Yeah.
and you start the I think it was a flower girl that walked in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's say, for argument's sake, the flower girl walked in 1 minute 15 seconds.
Very specific.
Very, very specific.
Yeah.
I've never seen a wedding program so specific.
Yeah.
You know,
To the
and-
T.
To the T. And funny and amazingly enough, now, even that during rehearsal, even at the church, when she was there coordinating, I just said, no, okay, cool. You are walking with her. There was no space for any errors.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
that gave me a lot of comfort knowing that, okay, my boy got someone that's, I don't want to say strict, but a person that can actually, in a way, filter his thoughts down whenever they're sharing
Definitely.
thoughts, you know, because
Definitely.
you have a person that's so meticulous in
Yeah.
everything she does, that everything has to be perfect
Yeah.
to the T, dots the I's. It's just,
I'm a wild card. If I was the one that was coordinating the wedding, probably would have started at 4. I don't know what would have happened.
you probably would have been late.
Yeah, she called me on the day. She's like, "You better not be late. You better not be late." Remember what happened on my wedding day?
Yeah.
I think I was doing my hair, and there was like 15 minutes. I can't remember, but I remember like we changed in the car. I can't remember, bro, but there was so much happening where I had to ask you to go pick up my little brother somewhere.
Yeah.
There was just so much happening,
Yeah.
right?
And then,
But
sorry, on that as well, I remember even Romeo, he came in late as well.
Romeo came in on the day. He didn't know what was happening.
Yeah.
It was a mess, bro. But you guys held it down.
Yeah.
You guys held it down. But going back to the point that you made, I think that's the reason why I decided to get married to her. She was the first person to, again, not humble me, but the first person to be able to say, no,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
What you're saying doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You know, there's been so many things that I wanted to do with the come up with the business, and she'd be like, no. Just think about it this way.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm a very stubborn person, and we've butted heads a lot because, as I said, I'm a wild card. When I have a vision, I don't know the how, but I know how it needs to be.
Yes.
She wants to know how, when, what time, how do we get there?
Yeah.
For me, as long as we get there,
Yeah.
right? And yeah, she's really helped me a lot.
Yeah.
She's really helped me a lot, man.
Goodness.
In the 2 years that I've been with her, I've seen my career just jump, just because of the person that you are with in the house and the thoughts that just the way she operates.
Yeah.
Because what you saw on the wedding, remember we planned my wedding in a day. We only had one rehearsal for 2 hours, and on the wedding everything was perfect.
Perfect. Yeah.
Everything was perfect.
Yeah.
And that's just her.
Yeah.
That's how she operates. You know.
I know shame, bro, man. She was. Even till this day, I'm so scared of your wife now.
I remember the pastor looked at me. I was like, yo. Because my wife was like, another time she was pregnant, bro.
Yeah.
At the time she was pregnant, she was like, you need to stand here. You need to be there. You need, like, but looking back at our wedding, I was like, she had to do that. It was amazing, man. It
Yeah,
was
it was, yo.
it was amazing.
Yeah, it was. It was. You know.
It was amazing.
It was also. It was also even going back to the wedding day. You know, it was actually a very good. It was not a good. It was an honor as well.
Yeah.
Like to even walk with you down the aisle.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, sure, man.
I mean, you've been in every season of my life. There's no way you wouldn't have been there, and there's no way you wouldn't have been here.
Yeah.
My mom took you like a son. Like
Yeah.
my mom loved you to bits. I remember when you guys arrived in Bloom for the wedding, and she saw you, and you know she just got so happy.
Yeah,
She ran to you and she hugged you.
Yeah.
So there are certain people that no matter how much they make me angry, I can't leave behind.
Yeah.
Because of the weight that they carry. You know, and you are up there, man. You're literally up there.
I remember how upset you were when we were planning that braai. You were so upset with me with the lack of communication.
Which bride?
The braai we had recently with.
At my place.
At your place, yeah.
Yeah, I remember. It's like, chap, how do you say I'm gonna have a bride at your house on Saturday? I'm like, okay. And then you don't speak to me the whole day. I mean the whole week. And then on Saturday 4:30 you say, I'm at your house. I'm at the gate. I'm like, that doesn't make sense, bruh. But before I got married, I would have let it slide.
Yeah.
Because that's how I operated. So it shows that she's slowly filtering down to me, you know.
You know, she's a good one, man.
Yeah.
She's a good one. She's a good one, bro. But yeah, man. You know, I'm actually again, you know, I'm very, very excited to what you got planned for us in the come up this season, hey man. Because like I said, it's a fresh podcast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a fresh podcast. And again, we're in a generation or in a time of our lives where everything is just revolving, you know, things are changing often, you know, and you know. So for the podcast now as well, is there a 10-year plan? Is there a 15-year plan?
Yeah. There's a very long term plan, man. There's a very long term plan. This is gonna be my baby.
Yeah.
Like, God willing, I'm not gonna do what I did with season 1 where I just disappeared for like 2 years.
Yeah.
This is something that, because there's a need for it as well. There's a need for fresh ideas, fresh faces.
Yeah.
And you know, one of the inspiration that I take is from like Diary of a CEO. Remember I told you about it, where you get a podcast and you get to learn about fitness, like just fitness and how creatine works and how you build your muscle, and you know, just listen to that for an hour, or financial advice, like just different thoughts, you know. And I feel like, honestly, I don't know if we have a huge market for that currently in South Africa. Reason being, I'm big on Twitter. Like I'm always on Twitter. 95% of the time, it's always who pays for the first date, who fetches who for the first date. Even the radio stations, I was listening to a radio station and they were discussing pubic hair at 7 a.m. in the morning.
Wow.
You know, 7 a.m. in the morning, discussing pubic hair. You know, so I'm just like, it's a risk that I'm willing to take.
Yeah.
It's a risk that I'm willing to take, you know. Yeah, man. And yeah, but how are you, Jab?
Yeah, dude. I'm good.
You know, how are you?
I'm
I feel like
good.
we spent 45 minutes talking about myself.
It's about you today, my boy. It's the one time where I'm like, yeah, no, it's about you. I can't be the main character like always.
I feel like my biggest thing is I love putting people first. Like,
Yeah.
tend to take a step back.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, but you know, to answer your question, look, dude, I think the past month, you know, put a timeline onto it. You know, I mean, March. As you know, I'm working at a new company. Yeah, I haven't hit the 6-month mark yet, which I'm going to do at the end of April.
Okay.
But so far it's been good. You know, I had a bit of a mess up on one of the valuations.
I remember you told me.
Yeah, I'm a quantity surveyor, by the way. You know. Like you didn't know. Yeah, so I had a bit of a mess up on the valuation, you know, and so it's myself, my boss, and then one of my colleagues.
Yeah.
You know, so So I sent it to my boss. We had a meeting about it, and then she's like, "Okay, cool."
Was it your fault?
Yeah, there was a lot of gaps.
Okay.
And she was real enough to say to me, "It's like, dude, I expected you to mess up.
Oh, okay.
I
okay.
did expect you to
That's
mess
a
up.
great boss.
It's the first time doing an insurance valuation, and I didn't think it would go well. It went bad, but now you know what not to do
Yeah.
when you get to site now. You know what I mean? So working with the people I'm with now, I mean, the one thing I've always wanted is not a boss that's gonna like enforce all the time.
Okay.
When you make a mistake and then they're just like, yeah, no, we knew.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what we. You understand, like those kind of bosses where management just
Drags you down.
drags you down. And naturally, I'm very hard on myself.
Okay.
When I make a mistake in anything I do, if I make a mistake, I am hard on myself as it is.
Yeah.
Now to have a whole other human being come and tell me down and say like, yeah, no, vele, you messed up. It hits hard.
Yeah.
But she was able to look at the situation and she told me like, hey, dude, look, mistakes happen.
These things happen.
These things happen. It's your first time. Now you know. I think the one thing I took from that chat with her is that now you know what not to do next time. Now you know what to look out for. You've made the mistake. Now, when you go out and do the next one, you know what is expected. You know how to handle yourself, and you know how to look at things, and you know what kind of information is required for when you do these valuations.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's man. It's been an interesting journey up to so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been an interesting journey up to so far, and really, I'm very excited for the future with them. Like I said, it hasn't been more than 6 months yet, but I can already feel that. I know, obviously, often when you get to a new company, you have this feeling, yeah, I know, I feel like I belong here, but
Yeah.
there's just something different about this one.
Okay.
There's just something absolutely, absolutely different about this one.
Yeah. Before we wrap up, I just want to say, like, I'm very, very proud of you, bro. I'm very, very proud of you because I was there when you worked your first job.
Oh gosh.
I was there when you worked your first job, man. And I've been in corporate for close to 10 years now, and I've never encountered a company that comes relatively close to your first job.
Bro.
This man would call you when you're at church to go open up the office on a Sunday evening. So I'm very, very proud, man. I look at you and what you've become, and I'm just like, flip it, man. It can only be God. It can only be God, because you also come a long way.
Yeah.
A long way. And you're still going further, man.
Yeah.
You're still going further. But mentally, how are you handling things?
I think my mental health now has obviously got a lot better. Because last year, I did have quite a few depression stints. It was tough, man.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend, she studied psychology, and then she always tried to help me and say, hey, actually, she even went as far as trying to get therapists and psychologists, psychiatrists. She gave me everything.
Did you try therapy?
Not yet, but it's a point that I made that I need to go to it this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, because work is a lot more flexible, so it is a point that I need to go through it. So yeah, she helped me a lot because my anxiety went up quite a bit last year.
Yeah. How did you handle it?
To be honest, I didn't handle it.
Okay.
Let me be honest, I didn't handle it. It got the better of me.
Yeah.
It got the better of me where, I'd make mistakes at work, and, I made a mistake at work, and it just added on to it, But when I transitioned to this new company, working hours are flexible. So the first thing I did that week was go back to gym.
Helps, eh?
Yo, bro.
Helps.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so committed to gym now.
5 a.m. club.
5 a.m. club, because a lot of people think it's about like the fitness. Of course, I look amazing, but mentally being at the gym just opens up so many portals, man. Because if you don't gym and you hit anxiety.
Yeah.
It's like a brick wall.
Yeah, because with me now, I come from families of achievers. I mean, my like for instance, my cousin, how big achievers we were. So
Yeah.
when we fail, it becomes a big thing. So sure, I maybe fail or make a mistake at work, but somehow the confidence I get from being in gym, benching, getting or beating my personal best,
Yeah.
beating my last personal best and having a new personal best. I mean, it just psychs me up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It does wonders.
Yeah.
It does wonders, man. I think we can wrap up. What's your closing thoughts, chap?
I was actually thinking about it, but then it's gone, But I think you should go first, man. Let me just try and remember it.
I think my closing thoughts, I just want to hop onto the anxiety and depression conversation that we had, because I've realized that a lot of people are battling with it, bro. A lot of people. And I've met people that have made peace to live with this thing, And I'm not a psychologist, nor am I a doctor. But as you said, there are so many ways to make it out of it.
Yeah.
And not always conventional ways of therapy, because not everyone affords therapy. Therapy is freaking expensive, chap. Like, it's very expensive.
Yeah.
But with this new season of the Come Up, and this new year, we're still in the first quarter of the year.
Yeah.
I think I just want people to hold on, bro. To really, really hold on, because there's a lot of suicide rates happening in the world.
Yeah.
Mostly men.
Yeah.
So I just want people to hold on, man, and really, really trust that everything will be okay.
Yeah.
Everything will be okay.
Yeah. I think my closing thought would be that I think a lot of personal thoughts or personal ideas will come from my personal experience,
Yeah.
So I think the biggest thing that we need, or I want people to know, is that shout if you need help.
Yeah.
Genuinely, just shout when you need help, because there's no way no one will listen.
No.
Someone will listen if you shout loud enough. If you break through all that negative thoughts and speak up and say, "Hey, I do need help. I'm struggling with this, because it's a lesson that I had to learn at work recently. To talk. I mean, they said to me, like, yeah, you might be overwhelmed with work or whatever, but talk.
Yeah. Because it filters down to every other area of your life.
Yeah.
If you don't talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of people just need to speak up,
And it has helped us talking, because now we talk about everything.
Yeah, I mean,
I can call you and say I'm having a crappy. It's not as weird. I know starting it's a bit weird, especially for guys.
Yeah.
Because we are programmed to think and operate the same way. But ever since we have tapped into this new level of communication and operating, I'm so much better knowing that I can call KB or I can call CK to just say, today was one of those days,
Yeah.
The other day, CK was going through something, and he literally called me at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
He's like, China, it's one of those days, I'm not okay, blah, blah, blah. And we spoke about it, and it made me realize that we come so far as men, because we wouldn't dare have those type of conversations.
Yeah, Joe.
And it has helped, man. It has helped us so much.
Yeah.
I want to ask you a question before you close, ne?
Yeah.
I don't know, there's this new song by Yanga. It's called What If. I don't even know the song.
Yeah, I know it, yeah.
I want to ask you, what is your what if? What is your what if? If this didn't happen, you wouldn't be here.
I think the one what if that has always been on my mind, is what if my parents didn't separate?
Okay.
Like, genuinely, that's my what if, because everything that has happened from that.
That's big, Jack.
It's big. I know. It's
like, I was trying to process it. You just hit me with something I wasn't expecting. That's massive.
It's massive because, when I have conversation with people that I used to be in high school with and primary school, or rather more primary school than anything, because that's when my parents split.
When you were in primary.
In primary, yeah. Okay. And a lot of people would say, like, dude, you were arrogant. For a 9-year-old, you were arrogant and spoiled, and, you were just not even mean. You were just rotten.
You were a bully.
Yeah.
Do you think the background affected you?
I think it did.
Okay.
I'll be honest and say it did. Because, when like I was raised by my mom and it's myself and my two younger sisters,
Yeah.
I mean, since she took over, because a man just failed her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I love the fact that my mom didn't now let that affect our relationship.
With your dad?
No, not my
You and your mom?
between me and my
Okay.
mom. You know what I mean? Because in most cases where a man fails a woman and then there's a son, suddenly the woman takes it out on the son.
For sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So she did not let that affect her and our relationships. More, it helped her groom me better.
Okay.
So that's my biggest what if.
That's massive.
What's yours?
I think my what if is, what if I never took a risk by moving to Joburg? That's my biggest.
Yeah.
That's my biggest what if. I don't know where I would have ended up.
Yeah.
Because I think as time goes on, we're gonna break into that as well. But I literally moved here with nothing,
Yeah.
but just a dream,
Yeah.
And to be here, it was not. It's my wildest dream.
Yeah.
Literally, I just came here to survive.
I remember the times you would be on the phone and you would call me and be like, "Hey chap, you should come to Joburg."
That time I'm sleeping on the floor. Yeah, that's my biggest what if, man. What if I didn't move to Joburg?
But yeah, to wrap up, man, season 2 on the come up has started. Officially started.
Yeah.
Sure. I'm sure like the viewers, you can't wait for the next one.
Yeah.
And give us a timeline. When can you expect the next one?
It's a surprise.
Don't want to pressure you yet.
It's a surprise. Give me time.
But Thabo, thank you so much for this, man. Thank you for letting me host you as the original host. And again, thanks. I mean, we're brothers for life. We've been
Definitely.
ups and downs, and can't wait to see what you got next, man.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Man. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and shout out, chap, for pulling through. As you said, it's season 2 has officially kicked off, and we're gonna have a great time. We're gonna have an amazing time. I hope you guys continue to like, subscribe, and share. What is it? Like, comment,
share, and subscribe.
I haven't done this in so long.
And I'm not even a content creator.
I haven't done this in so long, but just click the buttons there at the bottom. And man, thank you very much for tuning in.
Right, cool. Till the next one. Cheers.